Hey, how's it going, guys? It's your retro future boy, Ricky Summer here. Today I've come back in time to play some Frostpunk with you. So Frostpunk is essentially depressing Tropico. It's like the love child of Tropico and Banished, but in my humble opinion, it's kind of more fantastic than both of those games combined. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So it sets you up in a scenario-based campaign, with a set map, as far as I can tell, maybe some procedurally generated events here and there, and you have to build your city and, more importantly, survive. It's definitely heavy on the survival and heavy on the choices, which is really interesting. There are laws you can pass that really it's not even necessarily an element of good and bad. It's weighing the consequences, and things will go wrong, absolutely guaranteed. But when things go wrong, it's not, well, that's just on the whole bad. It's, now here's a choice of how do you want to deal with it. Do you want to go down this path, or do you want to go down this path? And as the game progresses, that actually manifests in the tech tree splitting, and you actually have choices in what sort of building path you want to go. It's very, very cool. So we're going to play a little bit of this, but before we jump into it, in the interest of full disclosure, I have been furnished with a key for the game for free and early before release by GOG. GOG has given me the game early. I am a GOG affiliate, and there will be a GOG affiliate link in the description. If you so choose to purchase the game through that link, I will get a small percentage of the sale. Alright, let's get into the game. So we're going to select a scenario here. I will remind you this is pre-release and it's very close to 1.0, but it's not quite there yet. I'll just double check my notes here. The opening cinematic is not in the game, and the additional game mode to the campaign is not in the game yet. So we've got the campaign. I've tried to have a look around. I'm not 100% sure what that other game mode is, but I assume maybe we've got other maps, or maybe it's just the game without the campaign, so it's just like if you want to play without the story. But the story is pretty unobtrusive in my opinion, and it's quite interesting. You know, you can, I did try and play with avoiding the story, and the story just sort of caught up to me and bit me in the ass anyway, and it seemed to do that fairly smoothly. A New Hope. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On the way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out there? Whatever we do, we should expect the worst now that the world, as we know it, has crumbled. Welcome to Paradise, baby. Alright, this is actually Bay City in the 31st century after everything's frozen over. Alright, fight the cold. We need to get the generator working. It provides heat and power to other buildings. Without it, we'll freeze to death. Stockpile some coal and start the generator. Okay, let me just pause it here for a second. So you've got food, you've got raw food that then needs to be cooked when you haven't got cooked rations, food rations as it's called. The folks will eat raw food, and presumably that's less nourishing. So you've got sort of that two-layer of food there. You've got steam cores, which can only be salvaged from the environment. Can we kind of show you the map yet? No, it hasn't unlocked yet. But there's actually like expeditions to do as well. You've got steel, you've got wood, and you've got coal. Coal is potentially your most important resource, because without coal, your generator shuts down. Currently, it's shut down, so right now we need to get coal. And when it shuts down, everything gets fucking cold, right? So you've got comfortable, which is red, livable, which is yellow. So currently, just the body heat from our peeps is providing livable warmth. You've got chilly, you've got cold, very cold, and freezing. Now, when you get, I think, to chilly, some buildings stop functioning. I think the cookhouse, or whatever it's called, the place where you actually turn raw food into rations, stops functioning when it gets below livable. So very much heat is important. And then you've actually got healthcare you need to worry about, and housing. It's very cool, and it gets pretty intense, and you got to balance shit. Alright, so let's get to it. So this is all set as far as I can tell. I don't think this changes from run to run. So we've got some wood crates here that can be gathered. Now, it did take me a second to realize that you can just you can just send people over to the raw resources here, and they'll trudge through the snow to grab them on their own. You don't actually need to build a structure. Presumably the structure is beneficial because maybe they're more efficient, I don't know. They're probably quicker traveling back to the generator, and maybe it protects them from the cold. But for the moment, we're not going to waste resources on any of this. So as you can see, our little folks are actually cutting through the snow, and I gotta say, the game looks fantastic. The presentation is spot on. This is from the developers of This War of Mine, I think. Let me just, yeah, alright, listen, I think that's correct. Alright, so let's speed up here. So even the speed up mechanic is pretty awesome, because whenever something goes wrong, whenever something requires your attention, and once per day, so I think it's at 5 AM when the workday starts to begin, the speed up, it'll stop. It'll go back to normal time so that you don't miss it. It's just pulling up tutorial information here, so it's fairly unobtrusive, and you know, most of the information is there, and it's pretty fantastic, you know. I appreciate that, because then once you know what you're doing, if you play like I do and end up having to, you know, redo the run several times to get it right, you know, this is good because it doesn't shove the tutorial in your face. Okay, looks like we've got a choice here. No roof over our heads. Captain, people are understandably concerned about the lack of shelter. They're falling ill from sleeping outside in this terrible cold. We'd better do something about it. Alright, so we can say, I'll provide some shelter. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 40 people. I'll provide shelter for everyone. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 80 people, or I won't address this at all. Discontent will rise slightly, so I'll show you what that means in a second. But we're just going to promise to provide shelter for half of our population. If you promise to provide shelter for everyone, it'll actually say, hey, listen, you don't always have to do that, because sometimes your people are not right, you know. Alright, so we start off with a stockpile here. I'm just going to hit B to go to our buildings. We've got tabs here, and this expands, you know, fairly severely. But we'll go over to people here, and we'll just build some tents. So let me just show you. The tent houses 10 people, so we are going to build 4 of them. And I like the idea of building them all on one side and having the other side as like industrial and whatnot, but we'll see how we go. So as you see, excuse me if I'm making weird noises or I just sound hoarse, by the way. Now that my EP, my album has launched, my body has sort of drained off all its adrenaline, and it's like, alright, now you can get sick, buddy. So I'm feeling a little under the weather. But we'll persevere here, in keeping with the spirit of survival. It's all very fitting. The heating is off. The generator's off. People are afraid they'll freeze to death in their sleep if you don't at least turn it on for the night. There you go. Okay, so let's pause it for a second. As you can see, we have furnished ourselves with a little bit of coal from the coal pile over here. And it's not just a matter of collecting resources. There's also an element of, like, you'll get special abilities. For example, you can enact a law that allows you to say, for this building, work 24 hours, work straight for the next 24 hours, emergency shift, if you desperately need a resource. You know, people will perhaps lose hope and their discontent will rise, but if it gets you the resource that prevents you from freezing, for example, well, then it's worth it, right? So you've got, and it's very clearly labeled, which I like, you know, discontent. We've got a lack of shelter, so that's why we've got a little bit of discontent. So that shelter's going to get fixed. I'm just going to move to here, then I'll explain building in a second. The wisdom of the crowd. Captain, when facing demands, remember this. People usually look for the quickest solution, not the best one. You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problem your way, it's fine. See, there you go. That was that message that I was mentioning before. Sometimes it's better, actually, usually it's better to say, all right, I'll fix most of your, or like I'll fix some of the problems. Like if you promise to fix some of the problems and fulfill the promise, it's better than promising to fix all the problems and failing the promise. Because if you actually make a promise, it shows up as like a quest logged thing down here, based off those decisions or little pop-ups there. If you fail a promise, it'll be a huge like hope and discontent hit to debuff there. So the way building works, as far as I can tell, is like they start building instantly. So as soon as you tell them to build something, they'll just start building it regardless of the working day. So people will actually stop working and go home at night. It's all very nicely simulated. It feels real. Just feels right, and dare I say realistic. Sounds like it's a bit of a buzzword these days, isn't it? All right. Very excited. Shelter promise fulfilled. Everyone feels relieved with a roof, even a flapping one over their head. There you go. See what I mean? So I promised them the world. What am I doing? No, we want to slow down time. I promised them the world and delivered, rather than promising them the moon and failing. Okay. Illness and healthcare. Let's get rid of that. So we've got 40 homeless currently, and we have 1 sick. But not gravely. So you've got 2 different kinds of sick. You've got, hang on, let's go to health. Here we go. So you've got sick, and then you've got gravely sick, I think. So gravely is, they require like an upgraded building, and like the next tier of medical building. Just regular sick can be treated by a medical post. So let's put down a medical post while we can. Where are we going to put it? Let's put it here as like the buffer between the 2 zones. So this is going to be our residential, that's going to be our medical. Also keep in mind, everything has to be heated by the generator. So we're going to have to keep upgrading the generator before we should turn on the generator too. That might help. Okay, so that's fine. No one should die tonight. Is it the night? I think it is, yeah. What time? Hang on. It's 3 a.m. Yeah, okay. No one should die tonight. That's fine. So you've got different levels of generator, plus you can actually extend the range. There's a lot of customization here that's built into the research system. Furthermore, if you're really in the shit, because sometimes the temperature will drop. We're talking like 40 below. Sometimes then you're going to have to overdrive it. And that's fine, because it'll up your heat. But it's also going to stress the generator, and then once it gets to 100 stress, the generator breaks. I've not been dumb enough to let that happen yet, and it does warn you before it happens multiple times. But there you go. So you got all these options. It's fantastic. Okay, so is that being built? Let's speed up time here. I'm probably just going to run the rest of the mission here fairly sped up, because it said sped up, dude. All right. Because things do get done pretty quickly when you, get out of here. I don't want the tutorial. I want to close it. Get out of here, you bloke. Okay. Now, don't forget, when you put down a building, it doesn't get staffed automatically. You have to staff it. And you've got 2 different types of workers. You've got workers and you've got engineers. They call them engineers, but they're sort of just skilled workers. So engineers are required for the medical post, for example. Some buildings will only use workers, and some buildings will use either or. I'm not sure if there's a bonus if you staff an either or building with engineers as opposed to a mix or just workers. I'm not sure. The generator hums with reassuring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. If the generator goes down, the city dies. Be mindful of coal reserves. Now, food. There'll be no city if we starve to death. Secure a way to provide raw food and build a cookhouse to prepare meals. Okay, we can do that. So let me hit B here to pull up our food cooking tab here. So we've got a hunter's hut and a cookhouse. I'm going to put the cookhouse right next to the medical post and the hunter's hut. I think I'm going to put the hunter's hut out a little bit. So this is a perfect opportunity, if you will, to build a road. So let's just build it out to about there. Luckily, you don't have to leave room for roads. You can just sort of tack them on between the wedges here, which is pretty great. So the reason I'm doing this, I haven't tried this before, but the reason I'm doing this is the hunter's hut doesn't seem to require warmth in order to function, and people don't get upset when it's cold. It seems to be a warmer structure anyway, but because the hunter's hut works by sending people out at night, it seems less important for it to be in the immediate sphere of warmth. Okay, sorry if I'm skipping tooltips here. I just kind of know what I'm doing, so I'll do my best to explain things as we go. So I'm going to max that out. So down here you've got 30 unemployed out of 80 citizens, right? And then that breaks it down. We've got 20 unemployed workers, 10 unemployed engineers, and 15 unemployed children. I say unemployed children because we will have the option to force children to work. Furthermore, we can decide whether they work in only safe jobs or whether they work in all the jobs and have a greater risk of being injured. It's so diabolical. It's fantastic. Okay, wood crates depleted. There we go. So that was like here, I think. We've still got 142 coal in our pile over here, so that's not too much of a problem. I feel like once that runs out, we'll go for this coal over here, and soon we should start researching some stuff. In fact, I'm going to get to it right now. Is that wood? Let's go grab some wood with our remaining workers. So now we've only got the 10 engineers left. We can, make no mistake, we can get engineers to do grunt work if we want. It just seems like a little bit of a waste. Okay, so let's have a look at our heat map here. See, as you can see, even though this is one ring out, for whatever reason, the hunter's hut seems to warm itself a little bit. I'm not sure why that is, but that just seems to be the case. Okay. So let's go to our building menu here and grab a workshop. I'm doing this prematurely before it actually tells me to do it. Oh, it's just told me to do it now. There you go. Build a workshop, build the beacon, rescue survivors of our lost expedition. So this is going to unlock the overworld map where we can send expeditions out and whatnot. It's fairly dank. I am going to put the workshop in... Oh, again, we don't... The workshop is one of those structures that doesn't... It doesn't not need to be heated, but it seems to kind of warm itself a little bit. Where am I going to put this? I'm tempted to like scooch it out a little bit. Let's put it over there and see what happens. Now, these structures need to be connected to... That is connected already, but I'm just going to up the road a little bit. The road costs wood, I think. Where does it say? Hang on. Where does it say how much the road costs? I don't know. Take my word for it. So everything needs to be connected to a road. Let's speed up here. So the workshop is our research structure. It needs to be staffed, and then we need to select a research project. Let's slow down here. I've just hit T to open up my research. So as you can see, we've got 4 tabs of research. I don't know if we get more. This is just what I've seen. The reason I say I don't know if we get more is because, like I said before, the tech tree branches out, at least in terms of building. Hopefully we'll get to that in this video, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so first order of business, the exploration and industry tab, and I'm going to research the beacon. We need to employ engineers though. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Is that researching? Okay. This is going to cost 10 wood, and it's going to take 7 hours at 100% research rate. I'm not sure what our current research rate is. Does it tell us? Working hours. I don't know. It'll get there eventually. Let's speed up here. We can close our little stuff there. So as you can see, you know, it starts to shape up and you get this nice little circular area. I've got to say, it looks fantastic. Not just from a graphical standpoint, but just the presentation of the game. I think it looks amazing. Alright. People from our convoy. Family torn apart. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. Baby, I'm going as fast as I can. I'm going as fast as I can. Okay, I'm just going to go... I'm going to hit L and go into my law tab. Actually, I should probably press the button. Economy? Ooh, this is something I probably should look at more, but haven't. Alright, Book of Laws. So this is our adaptation law, but this is going to branch out based on decisions that we make later on. It's kind of like picking a governor in Age of Empires 3, for lack of a bit explanation or comparison, but so much deeper. So it's like order or faith, you know, for example. So do you want to be like a bit totalitarian, but, you know, benevolent? Or do you want to just go hard on, like, build churches and say, you know, lift people's spirits through faith? So you have that choice, which is pretty cool. So we've got stuff like emergency shift, which I won't enact yet because we don't need it. We've got child labor, safe jobs, or child shelter. Now, if we go child labor, I think safe jobs then branches out into child labor up there. If we want to go like all jobs and really screw them. Radical treat. Listen, we'll get to that. We'll get to that eventually. But as you can see, there's some cool stuff. Fighting pits to blow off steam. And it's this sort of balance between just get shit done or be a little more humane about it. Okay, so we've got 4 hungry people. We've got rations though, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We really, really should build some more houses though. We've only got half of our population currently housed. Now, the best thing to do would be to put it around here, but I kind of want to leave that open for some important, like for lack of a better term, social buildings, like, you know, more medical buildings and whatnot that really should be kept warm. So if at all possible, I wouldn't mind building 4 houses off here. So let's see how we go with that. Now, our research is almost done. As you can see, when things are sped up, things get done pretty quickly. So it's not, you know, it wouldn't take this long to get to this point. It's just because I'm explaining everything. So let's go over to our heating tab in our technology tree, and let's research the steam hub. Let's research the steam hub. After this, hang on. Oh, that's comfortable though. So we should be fine. See, as you can see, this is comfortable. You know, it doesn't, this seems to produce a little bit of heat on its own because it's the workshop, I assume. So, you know, they're doing stuff. So that's fine. And this is livable over here. So I think that's a fine choice. All right, let's speed things up. Are we actually researching a thing? Yeah, we are. We should be. Oh, because it's after hours right now. So everyone's asleep. Let's speed on through the day. What we should do next is secure resources. So right now we've been just picking apart what's available, but there are ways to get more steady resources. Like there are frozen trees here that will provide a lot of wood. We can actually research a structure that's going to essentially create coal for us. It's going to drum it up from the ground. And there are coal deposits over here that we can mine, and iron ore that we can mine there. Alternatively, you know, we can just send people over to get the steel wreck stuff over here. We've got 15 unemployed workers, so I'm going to send 5 over to the steel wreckage. We've already got guys working the wood. Have we got anyone grabbing coal? I think we do. Do we not? Hang on. Do we not have anyone on the coal? That seems dangerous. Actually, no. Coal is very important. I'm going to max that out as best I can. Okay. Let's speed up here. Oh, God. Okay. We've got disaster. So you can click up here to see your temperature as well. We've got a minus 40 degree day here. So that means, unfortunately, we're going to have to put the generator into overdrive. So let's have a look what happens to the heat map here when that happens. Okay, so good news is the inner ring is now livable, but the outer ring is cold, which is below chilly, and that's not good. Our hunter's hut and our workshop is only chilly though, so that's okay. Our hope is pretty good. Our discontent is slightly rising. We've got the steam hub research, which is beautiful. So let's exit out of that overlay. Go to build and tech. We haven't got the steel to build a steam hub yet, but soon we will have that. Okay, looks like we've got a thing here. A word of advice: treat the gravely ill. One of our people is gravely ill. If you sign the radical treatment law, the gravely ill will be treated in medical posts, but may become disabled for life. Alternatively, you might sign the sustain life law to keep them alive until we build an infirmary. Open the book of laws. This is a perfect example. So essentially what we've got here is we say radical treatment and 30% of our gravely ill. So like I said before, we've got like ill and gravely ill, 2 tiers of sick people. So if we try and treat our second tier of sick people with the first tier structure, we just can't do it. So we have to either sign radical treatment, which means 30% of the patients will have, they'll be amputated, right? So they'll lose limbs, which means they can't work anymore for now. But later on, we might be able to get them to back into the workforce with by researching prosthetics or through special events and whatnot. Alternatively, we can say sustain life, which means we'll treat them, but they're not going to get any better. We'll just keep them alive. The point of that is to say, essentially, hold off until we can research the tier 2 structure to treat them properly, right? But I'm going to say radical treatment because it means 70% in theory will be treated, right? So let's sign that. Plus, it's kind of cool to have these. I mean, it's let me rephrase that. It's not cool for people to lose their limbs, okay? But in terms of the you know, make-believe game world, it's kind of cool to have all these grizzled old bastards that have to be fitted with prosthetic limbs. It's like the cyberpunk version of augmentation and whatnot. Housing riot. The lack of homes stirs anger. Captain. An angry crowd is protesting, pushed over the edge by prolonged homelessness. People demand that you address their problem immediately. Listen. I'll provide shelter for everyone. You'll have 1 day to provide shelter for 30 people. That's very doable. I'll provide better housing. You'll have 2 days to provide housing better than a tent for 30 people. That's just straight impossible. I can't do that. Or forget about it and discontent will rise. So let's just provide housing for 30 people. We do have 30 people that are unhoused. Why? Oh, because it's not connected to the road because I'm an idiot. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hold on. I misclicked. Let's build a road there. That's going to fix it, no problem. Okay, so what else are we doing? We need to build a beacon, which I should have done. Oh, we can't build a beacon because we need steel. So we're getting to it. We're getting to the steel, make no mistake. So we need to build a steam hub and a beacon. Shelter, promise fulfilled, hope rises. There you go. See? Discontent has gone down. Hope has risen a little bit. I'm like the greatest mayor of all time. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna say, buddy, let's send the engineers to grab that steel. And furthermore, can we enact a new law? Can we say emergency shift? No, we can't do it yet. We need to wait 10 hours because we recently popped off a law. So this is not great. We're at a little bit of a risk of losing people tonight. Moderate risk of getting ill, right? So let's have a look at our medical post. It's staffed and it's functioning and it's livable. Cool. See, this is why I wanted to leave some space here for the important buildings like the medical post. So we will have to build more of them too later on, because they haven't got. They can only treat 5 people at a time. Another day, another shift. Well, that's life. No one died tonight. So hey, how you doing? Okay, and we're at risk of burning out the generator. How fast is it going up? 89. Is it going to get to 90? It's gotten to 90. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to turn it off. I hate this because we've got... Jesus. Okay. We need that steel. Currently, it's a matter of life and death. Alrighty. Let's pause it and build a steam hub. So this is essentially, it's like a mini generator. And I'm just going to put it here amongst all the housing. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, let's get that done, boys and girls. I appreciate the building is done. They start the building instantly. That's that's the best thing ever. Okay, so we've upgraded our houses to chilly, you know, from cold. So I guess that's okay. How's our coal going? Our coal is fine. Our coal is fine. Let's pause it. We can... Okay. We are nowhere near building the beacon, but we'll get there. Alright, we've got a couple of things here. More sick beds needed. Captain, some of our people are concerned about the rising number of untreated sick. They're asking you to address the problem. I will open a new medical post, says I. And I've got 3 days to do it. Or, you'll have 3 days to admit 1/3 of the sick to treatment. How many sick people do we have? No, I don't know. So, I'll open a new medical post. I know I can do that easily. What's this one over here? First amputation, there you go. To save this patient's life, we have to perform an amputation. As a result, this person won't be able to work. So we could say, yeah, right, whatever. Or we must do something about it. Consider signing the care house or prosthetics law. So that's going to bring us over to care house. The gravely ill and amputees will be cared for at low cost in special homes. New building, care house. The gravely ill are kept alive and care houses are no longer burden medical posts. That's fantastic. Residents of care houses eat half as much. Hope will rise slightly, but you will have to build a care house. I'm fine with that. Let's do that. It's not a problem. I'm going to pause it here and we are going to build a medical... Hang on. We've got 3 days to build the medical post. I'm going to build a care house and a medical post right there. Can we fit in a tent here? We can, if we need to. Okay, cool. So that should get done in short order. All right. There you go, our amputee. So following the law we just passed, the care house, we can also pass the amputee law, but might have requirements, I'm not sure. We can check though. Care house promise fulfilled. There you go. So let's go over to our laws. Care house. New blueprint prosthesis available in the factory. We haven't built that yet. I don't think we've even researched it yet. Amputees fitted with prosthesis in medical facilities will be able to work again. There you go. That's not the only way to get around it though. Sometimes you'll get, like my last run, I got a little event that was like, hey, listen, I'm an amputee buddy and I really want to work because I don't want to be a burden. Let us work in the kitchens, you know? And it upped the production of my kitchen, essentially, which was pretty cool. Okay, so it looks like the care house is being kept warm. Maybe because there's a few people living in it. That's fine. Okay, we've got 11 sick. We haven't got any... Hang on, let's pull the engineers out of there. Put them in there. Where are our engineers? Where are our engineers at? We only have 15. Where's the rest of them? Oh god, no. I bet we've got amputated engineers. They're either amputees or they're sick. So they can't work. That's annoying. Alright, so moral of the story is, please, for the love of God, furnish us healthcare promise fulfilled. Great. Alright, at least we're fulfilling promises. For the love of God, firstly, send our... There we go. Our discontent is dropping. This is like a fantastic run. See what happens when you stop and take your time? Okay. That coal pit, guys. Oh, God. I hope we don't run out of coal tonight. But we probably will. Oh, no. It's the daytime now, so we're fine. It's still 40 below. So I will keep the overdrive going for a little bit. Let's speed up time here because I really desperately need that steel. The reason being... Oh. The temperature has risen a little bit. The temperature has risen. We've got food rations, but we're missing raw food. Are these our hunters coming back? Yeah, that's our hunters coming back. I think. Is our raw food going to rise now? Fingers crossed. Alright, we've gotten an influx of coal, so that's good. We're so close to having enough steel. There you go. Okay. So the reason... Come on, dude. Oh, we haven't got enough wood. Damn it. Alright, let's pull our blokes out of there. And where have we got wood to scooch up? Over here, wood crates. Actually, we'll do half and half because we're still going to need steel. Okay. We just need a little bit of wood, guys. I wonder if I could grab some by demolishing the road. I might be able to get away with that. Nah, listen. We only need 2 more. So the reason we need the beacon... Oh god, our food is not good. The reason we need the beacon is so that we can send expeditions out and get more survivors. Because currently, we're kind of lacking free time. So they're going to start working soon, I think. What is happening though? Closed at this time. We're not researching anything right now. I think it's irresponsible for us to research anything. So I'm happy to pull our blokes out of the workshop and actually shut it down. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Generator is shutting down, dude. We need that coal. It's the working day though, so it should start. Please no. Please no. Our food is going up. I just need that coal. Okay. I'm gonna pause it here and build the beacon. We needed to bring in survivors because we're running out right now. I don't think the beacon again needs to be warmed. It's not imperative. So I'm happy to build it there. Let's do that. How are we going for coal, guys? It's sort of tithering. All right. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You just heat it all up. What did I just do? I accidentally skipped the tooltip. But don't worry. Hey, we've got the beacon now. So essentially the way it works is it sends up a balloon and we get to put 5 boys or girls, but you know, the internet vernacular there, into a scout team and we send them out. And this also progresses the story a little bit. Hey, there you go. See what I mean? So we get little bits. Now, what I have noticed, I've played 2 separate runs of this for about 2 to 3 hours, and the little points do seem to move around, so it's different every time. The observatory, I think, last time was over here. The Lost Expedition was more over here last time. It seems the story points for the expedition stuff are set, you know. Yeah, there's like something over here. Ultimately, you want to get over there. But we can't do anything right now because we need to create a scout team. And we haven't got enough wood for that. We do have enough unemployed people, but we still need the wood. Coal, though. What's happening? We've run out of coal. Okay. Let's go grab another thing of coal. How are we going? So very soon... Let me have a look at our resources over here. Our coal thumper. What's that going to take? We can do it, guys. We should probably research the coal thumper. So let's turn on the workshop. We can't staff it. All right. Pull some engineers out of that. Staff the workshop. We've taken all of the steel. We've still got 5 unemployed. I dare say they're regular workers. What do we got over here? Ready to search. People cheer as the giant observation balloon soars above the city. This is a real feat. Everyone feels proud of the work they've done to make it happen. Volunteers have lined up, eager to go looking for our lost people in Frostland. The woman who came forward earlier is among them. Oh, look. Continuity. I love it very much. You know what, guys? I'm going to leave it there. It has the potential to be, you know, look, very long episodes. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So you know what? I'm going to record another episode right after this one. So thank you guys very much for watching. Taste the game, be excellent to each other. Don't forget, if you want to grab the game through GOG, DRM free, and help out the channel a little bit, you can do so with the affiliate link in the description below. But in any case, I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.